Guys, check out where I'm at right now. I'm gonna flip my camera. I am in Canton, Ohio at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Yes, we are here for Sterling Sharpe's induction ceremony this week. I just want to give you guys a look around right now because I'm actually standing outside of the Pro Football Hall of Fame at the moment. I think this is one of the entrances for it. And behind the actual Hall of Fame itself is Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. That is where the Hall of Fame game is happening tonight between the Chargers and the Lions. Yes, we are here. Fox 11 is here in Canton, Ohio right now. I've never been here before. This is a bucket list for me. It's so cool to be here in Canton. It is such a special week. I'm gonna try my best to not get hit by cars because there are cars coming by right now. But this is such a special week. Enshrinement week, the class of 2025. We're just a couple days away Saturday from them being part of football immortality. But like I said, we are here for this man right here, former Packers wide receiver, Sterling Sharpe. He is one of 4 members that will be inducted into the Hall of Fame here in a couple days. Other guys joining him, Eric Allen, played for the Eagles, Jared Allen played for the Vikings, Antonio Gates, the Chargers. But yeah, the main guy, Sterling Sharpe. We are here for him. I was not born when Sterling Sharpe was playing. I was born in '97, but I will say when I found out I was going to be coming here, I had to dive deep into the research and learn about him and the time that he spent with the Packers. And it's been such a pleasure just to learn more about Sterling Sharpe and the 7 seasons that he spent in the NFL and all 7 seasons that he spent with the Packers, because it really is incredible what he was able to do in just 7 seasons. Gonna try to go off memory here. I had my notes, but yeah, in just 7 seasons. Well, first let's start. Drafted in 1988, first round draft pick out of South Carolina by the Packers, the 7th overall pick. Again, spent 7 seasons with the Packers, but yeah, his rookie season, 1988. But 92 season was really the big one. That is when he won the Triple Crown. So he led the league in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. But yeah, that 92 season, a big one for him, and there's a lot of reasons why that was a big one for him. He had some great seasons leading up to 92, but that 92 one, the 4th game into the season, I believe it was the 4th game, that's when Brett Favre became the starter for the Packers. And 92, the first year that Mike Holmgren was head coach. I recently listened to Sterling was on his brother's podcast recently, and he talked about, man, when Mike Holmgren got to Green Bay, that is when he was able to have a system to finally be part of, and he thrived so much. So that 92 season, finally having this system in which he could just thrive as a receiver was so huge and was such a big reason why Sterling Sharpe had such a great 1992 season. But yeah, again, so many accolades for Sterling and his 7 seasons with the Packers. He was a first-team All-Pro 3 times. He made the Pro Bowl 5 times. What's remarkable to me, his final season, that 1994 season in the NFL, he had 18 touchdowns, which is amazing. And I believe over the last 6 weeks is when he had, of the season, is when he had 13 of his 18 touchdowns. His final game he ever played in the NFL, the final regular season matchup against the Buccaneers, I think he had like 137 receiving yards, only a couple receptions, but 3 touchdowns in that game. But here we are. We are in Canton for Sterling Sharpe, and it's crazy because Sterling, his final season, 1994, he became eligible for the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2000, and it's taken a quarter of a century for him to finally get that call from Canton, get that gold jacket, and Saturday is when it's all going to happen, when the enshrinement ceremony is going to go down. I just want to show you guys again, though, to give you guys just a look at what Canton looks like right now. It's going to be a jam-packed couple days. Tomorrow, Friday, is going to be the gold jacket ceremony. That is taking place at night. Saturday is the actual enshrinement ceremony, so we'll get to hear Sterling give his speech, and it's just going to be a really, really cool time. Like I mentioned, though, this is the actual Hall of Fame right here. I cannot wait to show you guys when we get a chance to go in what that looks like. It's going to be really cool. So many guys that have been just now enshrined in Canton in this incredible Pro Football Hall of Fame. But it's a really cool atmosphere out here right now. we got a lot of Lions fans, I hate to say it, right, walking around right now because the Lions and Chargers, they are playing in the Hall of Fame game, which is going to be kicking off here in about 2 hours from Canton. But yeah, if any of you guys have any questions, we are going to be, hopefully, we'd love to try to have the opportunity to maybe try to talk to Sterling tomorrow. I know that the class of 2025, they're going to have a photo opportunity tomorrow. So we're going to hopefully try to talk with him. So if you guys have any questions for Sterling, let us know. But yeah, it's just a really cool atmosphere here in Canton right now. Let's see if I can walk and show you guys a little bit more. Quite a few people right here. This is just a really cool picture though right here of all 4 guys that are part of the class of 2025 for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And really cool thing from also diving into research about Sterling is Sterling and Eric Allen were actually both part of the 1988 draft class. And it was fun because they had actually, when they were in New Orleans this year for Super Bowl, that was the first time that all 4 gentlemen had the chance to meet. And it was really cool for Sterling and Eric to be able to see each other again because they talked about the times when they were both playing and they went up against each other and just how they made each other so much better competitors. So that's pretty cool to see Sterling Sharpe and Eric Allen both part of the 1988 draft class, both being able to get into Canton together. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing just what the next couple of days entail, and that enshrinement ceremony Saturday, getting the chance to hear from Sterling and just see what he says about, you know, being able to finally get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame so many years after his time in the NFL ended. There's going to be quite a few Packers members that are here in attendance as former Packers members, players. I know that Don Mikowski will be here, his former quarterback. James Lofton, I've heard, will also be here. So that is another former Packers wide receiver of the Hall of Fame. Him and Sterling, unfortunately, not getting the chance to play together, but I've heard that James Lofton will be here. Former Packers general manager Ron Wolf is supposed to be here as well. So it'll be really cool to hopefully get the opportunity to talk to them and get some cool stories about Sterling. Also, Leroy Butler is going to be here as well. Ran into him at Packers training camp. He said, I will absolutely be here. No way I'm missing the free food and everything. So he will be here, and I know he's probably going to have a ton of stories about Sterling and their times going up against each other in practices and all that. So it'll be fun just to be able to talk to some of those guys and just hear the stories that they have about Sterling Sharpe. But this really is such a special weekend, you know, for all 4 of these guys, but especially for Sterling. And it'll be really cool to see. I imagine that his brother Shannon will be here, and Sterling and Shannon are going to become the first brothers ever in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which is pretty crazy. And part of diving into the research the last couple days about Sterling, you know, you see all the accolades about him, what he was able to achieve in just 7 seasons in the NFL, but it's been also really fun just to dive into his background and growing up. Him and his brother Shannon, they grew up with their grandparents in Greenville, Georgia. They lived in a 1,000-square-foot home, concrete floors, a tin roof. They didn't have running water. If they wanted hot water, they had to heat it up on the stove, he said, or they had to heat it up outside in the sun. So they just didn't grow up with much. And recently, Shannon had a podcast episode with his brother. It was 2.5 hours long. It actually dropped yesterday. And both of them were talking about just their upbringing. And it was interesting because it was kind of 2 sides of the coin for both of them. So you think about, hey, these are 2 brothers that grew up with not a lot in Georgia, raised by their grandparents. They talked about having to catch chickens and do farm work. And for Sterling, he always said, you know, he never thought of it as we live, you know, in poverty. He just thought, this is our life. And, you know, I love this life that we have because it's ours and we're family and we get to be together. But yeah, they were raised by their grandma and their grandpa, and it was cool just to hear them. But what was interesting for Sterling is he had just kind of said, for Shannon, it was very what these living conditions are for us, it's motivating for me. I want to go, I want to make it, I want to be a football player and prove, hey, I got out of that situation. But Sterling's mindset, he was saying, was not like that at all. He didn't feel like, oh gosh, I want to go have a better life and I want to make all this money and I want to have all these accolades. He just wanted to play football, was the way he described it. Where as for Shannon, he really wanted to go and he wanted to make money and he wanted to do all these things and achieve and say, look what I did, I made it out. And so it was fun just hearing about their background growing up, and I imagine it is going to be a very emotional Saturday for both Shannon and for Sterling. Again, being the first brothers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, it's crazy to think about. So Shannon was inducted, I want to say it was 11 years ago, and so 11 years later, his brother Sterling is going to be joining him. This is pretty cool. I just walked over here and I realized we've got Charles Woodson, class of 2021, obviously the former Packers defensive back. So here's some other names of guys that have also been inducted into the Hall of Fame. So just pretty cool setup here. Like I mentioned, guys, a little less than 2 hours now, the Pro Football Hall of Fame game is going to be happening between the Lions and Chargers, but obviously the reason why we are here, oh look, there's James Lofton's name right there, class of 2003. So some former Packers well represented here in Canton. But we're here for this guy, and we're going to bring you as much coverage this week as we can from Canton, from the Pro Football Hall of Fame, from Enshrinement Week, everything we can get access-wise with Sterling, and just excited to bring you guys the stories and show you guys around, make you feel like you're right here in Canton with us. So thank you guys, though, so much for tuning in. It is Hall of Fame week, it's Enshrinement week, it's exciting, so we will bring you all the coverage of Sterling Sharpe and his induction into Canton. So thank you guys again, though, for tuning in, and make sure you watch Fox 11 News for more coverage of us here in Canton, but we'll tune in with you guys here soon, and